Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? On this special day of remembrance, we welcome you as we celebrate the service of our veterans and those presently serving our country. America has a sacred trust to care for those who defend her. From the warriors who stormed the beaches at Normandy on D-Day, to the brave men and women returning from Iraq and Afghanistan. Our veterans share a legacy of service that crosses generational lines and upholds the values upon which our nation was founded. Service to a cause greater than self. Let us then, as a grateful nation, hold them to the highest regard as we offer tribute. We come together as a nation to thank and honor our veterans. We thank them for our freedom.
For the Christ Again, good afternoon. Thank you. I just want to give a little background on myself. I am a resident of Madison, have been here for most of my life. I graduated from Madison High School in '66. I went in the Army in '67. Spent 3 years active duty, 1 year of it being in Vietnam during '68, '69, and I was discharged in 1970. So that's a little bit about myself. Now, at this point in time, I'd like to all the veterans in the audience, these ladies over here, get all please rise. All the veterans, please rise. Once again, give them a round of applause, please. Veterans Day is a federal holiday to commemorate the contributions of all veterans. So on behalf of veterans present here today, we want to extend our sincere thanks to the principal, the music teacher, and all those who have devoted time to this program, especially these students. Now, I have a couple questions I'd like to ask each of you. The first one is, by a show of hands, how many of you have had a relative, being a father, brother, uncle, grandfather, who has been in the military? Great. Now, second question. I'm going to ask a few of you to step forward and tell me what branch of service, what the relative was, and where they served, if you can recall that. I'm going to ask Mrs. Lewis if she'd pick a few out. Those who have their hands raised, if she pick out a few and look near the microphone.
My dad was David Loveridge, and he was in the Marine Corps.
Thank you. Thank you. Now this afternoon, it is my distinct privilege to introduce a lady who is a lifetime resident of Madison and a graduate of Madison High School in the class of 2000. Completing high school, she worked with her mother for her time as a nurse's aide at Stewart Lodge in Madison until the tragic event we all know, September 11, 2001, World Trade Center occurred. She then felt she had to do something for her country, so she entered the United States Marine Corps on July 29, 2002, and completed her basic training at Parris Island, South Carolina, on October 25, 2002. She then went to Camp Geiger, North Carolina, for Marine combat training. And after some further training, she was deployed to Iraq in 2005, where she spent the next 9 months. I'll let her explain her duties there. She completed a 3-year assignment and was honorably discharged on July 27, 2006, reaching the rank Corporal E4. During her time on active duty, she earned the following medals: a Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War and Terrorism Service Medal, Navy Unit Commendation, and National Defense Service Medal. She is currently a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post here in Madison, and also the American Legion Post 112 here in Madison. Currently, she is a senior at Youngstown State University and will graduate this December with a degree in communication. Now please join me in welcoming Ms. Erin O'Donnell for her remarks.
afternoon, North Elementary School. I would like to start by thanking you for inviting us to your celebration today. It means a lot to us. When Al had spoken to me about this celebration, he had mentioned, what does Veterans Day mean to me? The difference, though, is at your age, I wasn't quite sure. I knew it meant freedom, but I didn't have the experience that I do now to understand some of the sacrifices that people went through to ensure that we could come to school every day, that our parents and our brothers and sisters could be whatever they wanted to do. As I got older and I actually joined the military, it then became very close to my heart. I have my family here today, and they were the biggest supporters. When I look in my life now, yesterday was the Marine Corps birthday. For 239 years, the Marine Corps has been around. And everyone was posting on Facebook, saying happy birthday Marines, happy birthday Marines. Today, everyone is posting on Facebook, happy Veterans Day, happy Veterans Day. When I think about it now, what happened when I became a Marine was I entered into a new family. I have my immediate family, but I also have a much larger family. All the Marines out there, as well as every other branch of service, has become my brothers and sisters. So when I look at this day now, I look and I see the sacrifices people have made. I look and see the lives that were lost so that we may do what we feel we want to, along the laws, of course. But it gave us that chance, unlike other countries, and it protects our borders. And as Al had mentioned, I had joined after 9/11, and I'm sure you have heard of 9/11, and when I think of that, it puts, have you ever seen bullying occurring on the playground, and you know it's wrong, and you want to stop it? Well, that's what happened on September 11th of 2001. Something was wrong, and it was an international bully, as I see it, who tried to take our freedoms and scare us. And that's how I ended up joining the Marine Corps. When it comes down to how I chose the Marines, they are all a great fighting force. And when people would ask me, why would you go in the Marines? Why would you go in the Marines? I wanted to be called a Marine. So at that time, and I think it still is the fact that the Marines have a longer boot camp and some difficult training. But when you look at it, people would say, what do you do? I'm in the Navy, I'm in the Air Force. Whereas when it came down to it, if I were going to fight for our freedoms, I wanted to be a Marine when I did it. My experiences have changed over the years from being in Madison, and my titles have changed. Like you all, I too am a student. And in December, that title will change again. But the one thing that will never change is I will always be a veteran, and I will always be a Marine. And it had such a significant pull on me that as I go to school now, I look for jobs where I can help veterans, where I can be associated with the military, because they are where my heart is. And the interesting thing about veterans is every veteran has a different story. They could be at the exact same place at the exact same time, whether it be Parris Island, South Carolina, and we're going through recruit training. Or it could be in Bagram, Afghanistan, where we're fighting a war for the Afghanis. But regardless, if you were to talk to each vet separately, they would be able to tell you a different story. I'll make a brief story for you for boot camp. When I was in boot camp, women have on average 26% body weight. So they make sure the women only eat healthy food. And can I tell you, I was starving all the time. Hungry. I would try and eat anything I could find. To the point that when I was wrapping up boot camp, I weighed 82 pounds at 21 years old. I was as fit as could be, but I weighed 82 pounds. I know we have fourth graders in here. Where are they at? All right. So I Googled and I found out that when I was wrapping up boot camp, I weighed right in the middle of the average fourth grader at 21. And when my parents and family came down to celebrate boot camp with me, I ate everything they would buy me. My sister went ahead and purchased candy for me in the gas station. She said, pick out whatever you want. She didn't know the bill was going to come to like $32. So that was a short experience with boot camp. Iraq, it's hot. We complain about the heat here. Unfortunately, there's no swimming pools in Iraq, so we can't cool down too easily. But I will tell you that by deploying with some of my fellow brothers and sisters, it was the best experience of my life. And each day, and each Veterans Day, while it's a happy day, it can also be a sad day for me because some of my brothers and sisters aren't here anymore. But it had definitely been something that they believed they were fighting for, as well as we do, as well as these ladies here do, and those gentlemen during their wars were fighting for as well. In closing, I'm going to do two things. As I mentioned in the beginning, various ages, I didn't quite understand Veterans Day or Memorial Day. And we get days off, or we have ceremonies, and we celebrate, but we have a hard time knowing what we're celebrating sometimes. And this past Memorial Day, my sister wrote a post on Facebook with my Marine Corps photo and said that, it's hard to understand or really appreciate Memorial Day until you have a loved one who you might never see again, and who would have given the ultimate sacrifice. And so when we think this Veterans Day, that while we're celebrating our freedoms, also think about the sacrifices that all those vets have given up. They had to be away from some of their families. Maybe you're even experiencing it now. And they do this probably for the same reason I did, for my family over here, for you guys here, for everyone along the United States, so that you may continue with your freedom and continue to grow into the people that you will become. And as I said, your titles will change. And maybe one day you'll hold the title of veteran. And I'd really like to see that day. And in closing, I saw that you guys have a hand motion for saying thank you to veterans. And what I would like to do is, sometimes you see a veteran and you don't even know you're seeing one. And I brought this hat today because a lot of veterans, mostly men, because, well, I'm not a hat person, so I don't know how many other females are, but you will see that there's writing on them. Usually gold with a black hat and the ribbons that the war that they were fighting in. And so what I'd like to do is, you might not always get to walk up and say thank you. And if they weren't here today, they might not know what this means. So what we do, and it's kind of a secret thing within veterans and military, is we do a head nod. So when we see someone who has fought or has a license plate with the Army or has a shirt on, you kind of do this. You make eye contact and you nod. And as you go, it gets a little bit more nonchalant. But as a veteran, you know exactly what's happening. So if you'd like to practice, we can practice with these gentlemen and these ladies here, where we go ahead and do a little, just keep eye contact and drop the head. And they might do it back after you do it. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to come and participate in your festivities. And I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and that when you learn about the Star Spangled Banner, that it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Thank you.
The Bravest Man I Know by Amanda Whitney. The bravest man I know is a man I've never met. He's a man who risks his life to save a friend. Not only to save a friend, but to save a nation. Risking his life for those he does not know. Stepping up, leaving loved ones behind, so that somewhere, someone else won't have to. The bravest man I know is the man who would rather risk his life so one more person can go home to see his family again. The man who stares danger in the face but never blinks. The bravest man I know is the man who fights so another man can have a taste of sweet freedom, not fighting for only his own benefit, but for many others all over the world. Fighting to make this world a better place. That's the bravest man I know.
class, which means that when we go into the desert or into the field, I operate heavy equipment. We do construction, we build and fight. A lot of humanitarian effort is done. Some of the things that our people did, or our community, is to go into Haiti and help them when they got a natural disaster, and help them to rebuild their towns. We also help rebuild after destruction of war, and we maintain camp support to make sure that the Marines, when they come back, they have a place to eat and a place to heal if they're hurt. See, these are a very wonderful community to belong to. We have carpenters, builders, cement people, heavy equipment operators, engineering aides, people that weld steel pipes together, and it's all for construction overseas. And I want to say thank you to people that supported me and my children, and all the teachers here that made a difference in my children's lives while I was gone. And to thank this nation, but to thank God most of all, because to me, there is no separation between God and country. And I just want to thank you guys for being here and for supporting all of our veterans.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having us today. Thank God for people like you that recognize all the veterans. There are so many veterans that did not make it home, and also veterans that are overseas serving today. So I would like to give you an opportunity to applaud all the people that are serving overseas now. Would you take a second to do that, please? It's not all hard work in the Navy. It is what you make it. You create a new family, as our other Marine shipmate had talked about. It's also creating new friends, creating a new adventure. The military is an adventure. I'm a Navy nurse, and I've been in 18 years, and I've done things that you could never do as a job just here living in Madison or anywhere in the United States. So I was in Afghanistan, and I worked with the Navy SEALs. What an opportunity. It was wonderful. Anyway, but thank you so much for singing for us today. Oh my gosh, that was very touching. I was trying not to cry. So thank you so much for honoring us, and I enjoy your day.
My name is Sergeant Heather Kincaid. I'm with the Army, but I'm also with the National Guard. So I get to stay home most of the time. I still have to go away to fight and do training. I'm actually a mechanic and a truck driver for the Army. We do a lot of support, keep the vehicles running overseas so that they get places safely. My unit also has a water company, so we make sure the water gets to where it needs to go to take care of the soldiers. We do all kinds of different stuff with force protection for the camps that are set up over there. So I get to stay home, but I also get to go get involved with the military side of it.
And salute one.